multiple streams to Apache children, baby. Let me teach you. You get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Constance Carter. How's everybody doing out there on this marvelous motivational Monday? What's happening? How you guys doing? I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be here every night, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I want to welcome you to the Fly Nubian Queen Network, the network for melanated sisters and brothers just like you. So before we get started, I want you to text the word Queens to 31996 for all of our alerts. Text the word Queens to 31996. All right. And make sure you, if you're tuning in from Facebook, I want you to go over there to YouTube real quick. And I want you to like or follow Fly Nubian Queen, the YouTube page, and Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter, okay? And if you're on YouTube, go over to Facebook real quick. And I want you to follow the pages, Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter and Fly Nubian Queen, both, okay? And then I want you to go to Instagram and follow me as well there. I be doing some stuff. I be doing TikToks. I be doing videos. I like to have fun with my kids. I do all kinds of stuff. So just follow me. I try to drop, a little bit of something, a little bit of wisdom. And I just try to be myself as much as possible. So if you follow me, you'll just kind of get some enlightenment on, just the everyday, what the day in the life of Constance Carter, as if you care, right? Anyway, I want to talk to you today about fears. A lot of times we let fears kick us in the ass and we don't move. And so I want to talk about why that happens and why scared money don't make money. We need to stop living in the fear factor. And a lot of times we live in this fear bubble, and it keeps us stuck from doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing and living in our purpose. And I want to talk about how to live in your purpose. I want to talk about what's holding you back. I want to talk about your mindset. I want to talk about those things that you are supposed to be doing in life right now. It's 2021. 2020 was, for some, it was an amazing year. 2020, for some, was an awful year. We lost so many people. I lost family members. A lot of us lost family members. 2020 was the absolute worst year in terms of deaths that I had ever experienced in my life. I've never seen this much death in my life until 2020. So there's a sense of urgency that I think that we should have with making sure that we're getting our goals done and then we're taking care of business. There's a sense of urgency and responsibility that we have to make sure that we're fulfilling our goals, to make sure that we are doing what we are called to do. And I want to talk about those fears that keep holding you back. So for those of you who are new, I want you to chime in, or for everybody, where are you from? So where are you hailing from? Where are you watching from? We have people that are from all over the world, which is so cool. Some folks that are on Periscope, some folks are on Facebook, some people are watching from YouTube right now. But where are you guys watching from? I know that sometimes we have people watching from Holland. Sometimes we have people watching from South Africa. Sometimes we have people watching from Australia, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, Sacramento. So put in the comments box, where are you listening from? Because I want to shout you out and I want to acknowledge you. Eula J says she is from Atlanta and she's looking at us from YouTube. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And there's hundreds of people out here watching. Valerie, she's from Atlanta. I want to shout you out. Devarius is from Kalamazoo. Cool. Don Diva, I love it. Don Diva State, she's on here often. She's from Chi-Town. Valerie is from Tennessee. Camille is from Memphis. Yes. Keep putting it in there. Nikita is from Wisconsin. Shout out to you guys that are watching tonight. But let's get on these fears. And I want to talk about the fears because we get paralyzed by fears. And I want to know, are you letting your fears paralyze you, or are you kicking your fears in the ass? And when I talk about fears, I talk about an acronym. So when you want on your road to success, there are things that happen on the way there. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Constance Carter. What's up, Janice from or Jasara from Philly and Janice from Kansas City, Missouri? When we talk about fear, I want to qualify that. So I own one of the largest African-American owned real estate firms in California. I'm a broker. I am an investor. I invest in marijuana, dispensaries, greenhouses. I invest in real estate, flip houses, commercial property. I have a co-working space, and I'm a best-selling author. I have a couple of books. But there was some fears and trepidation that I had to go through in order to get here. Because 10 short years ago, I filed bankruptcy. Just 10 short years ago, I lost some houses to foreclosures and short sales. 10 short years ago, I had my cars repossessed. So I've been all here. 10 short years ago, I had a 379 credit score. So I'm not far away from those things that kind of pulled me from success. Because really, success is not measured by what you have. It's not. So all of those things that I have that mean absolutely nothing if I'm not doing anything positive with it, if I'm not helping somebody else, if I'm not giving back, they mean absolutely nothing. However, on the road to get here, I know, look, when you're going through some things, I know this for a fact. When you're going through some things, it doesn't feel good. And you have to know that when you are going through things, there is a lesson and a blessing that's going to come of it. And that's how you have to look at it. But I know right now when you're going through it, like when I was going through that bankruptcy, that wasn't fun. When I had a 379 credit score and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get another car because don't nobody want to finance me. I had to try to figure out, what we were going to do about, our living situation. Had to figure all that stuff out. When you're going through that thing, it's not fun. It's not easy, but it's necessary. It was necessary for me to be here and for where I'm going because I'm still not where I want to be yet. And a lot of you, there's places that you need to be, that you want to be, but you allow that fear of failure, that fear of success to paralyze you. Some people have fear of success because they're like, okay, if I get successful, then what if I'm not able to fulfill everything that I'm supposed to be doing? What if I fail in that success? What if I just get successful and then something happens? So you get stuck and you don't try. Or you say, you know what, I might fail and then everybody's going to look at me. Everybody's going to laugh at me. So then we get paralyzed. So the fear factor that I'm talking about is F, you will fail. Absolutely. I just said I filed bankruptcy. That was a failure. I just told you that my car got repossessed. That was a failure. I foreclosed, I bankrupt, all of those things were failures, but they were necessary parts of my journey. And I'm so thankful for them. And I don't have a problem in sharing them with you. I have friends who filed bankruptcy the same year in 2009. It was actually 11 years ago. 2010. It was actually 11 years ago. That are still ashamed to tell their story. I'm not ashamed to tell my story. This is where I've been. I am one of the most too transparent a lot of times. But I believe that my transparency is here to help somebody else. I believe that my hardships are the blueprint that can help other people. And when you're going through and you don't know how you're going to make it through and you're trying to figure it out and it's not fun and you're down, you've hit rock bottom, know that your hardships are going to be the blueprint to help somebody else. So get up. If you fail, get up. Fail forward. Because somebody else might need what it is that you have. Somebody else is going to be going through the same thing and they need to see an example of somebody who actually made it through. One of you guys, somebody here needed to see an example of somebody who have been through bankruptcy, who have been through short sales and foreclosures, who had their car repossessed. But see here now that I have a great real estate company, great team that works for me. I have best-selling books. I speak all over the world. I'm good friends with Lisa Nichols. I did retreats with Lisa Nichols all over the world. But just a few years before that, I was bankrupt. I was broke. I had a broke mindset and mentality. But my hardships were the blueprint for somebody here that's listening here today. So E, in that fear factor, so I should say F was failure, E, and somebody put F for failure in the comment box because I want to make sure that you're paying attention, that you're listening. Take these notes, seriously, take these notes. F, failure. So put that in the comments box. E, embarrassment. Remember when I said sometimes people are afraid to fail because they're afraid to be embarrassed, because they're afraid that people are going to look at them, or sometimes people be like, they just doing too much. I go live every night and sometimes people tell me, I get tired of getting your notifications. But guess what? I'm going live anyway. People don't always have the best intentions for you, or people might be looking at you like you crazy because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Who cares? What God gave you and gifted you was for you. So number one, stop telling everybody what you're getting ready to do. Don't tell nobody what I'm fixing to do, what I'm fitting to do. Just do what you're supposed to be doing, because people a lot of times like to hold you back. And they'll project their insecurities, their inconsistencies, their dreams on you. And then you get embarrassed and you hold back and you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, or you don't do what you're called to do because somebody else. God gave you the vision, not them. And the reason why they can't see your vision because God didn't give it to them, but it's yours. So don't tell people things that are going to cause you embarrassment. But even if it does, when I first started going live on Facebook, I was hella rough around the edges. I'm still rough around the edges, you guys. I'm still rough. I was chewing gum, but I was giving good information. But I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing. And I had some embarrassing times and some embarrassing moments. And that's okay, because the message and what I was supposed to be doing was way more important than how I was feeling, because somebody else needed my help. Somebody else needed to hear my message. And when you think about it in terms of other people needing to hear what it is that you have, then it's a different mindset. It's a different ball game. A lot of times when we just doing it for us, it ain't motivation enough. Got 3 boys upstairs. Got a daughter in college. My mission is way bigger than me, Constance Carter. It's for them, but it's also for you. So I got to push myself out there to make sure that I am successful, because there are other people that are depending on my success so that they can get their breakthrough. How many of you know that there are other people that are depending on your success so that they can get their breakthrough? There are people waiting on you. So don't worry about getting embarrassed. A, somebody put embarrassed in the comments box before I go to A. So you got F for failure. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. You got E for embarrassment. Somebody put embarrassment in the comments box. Beautiful. You got A. You got to be willing to go all in. So whatever your dreams are, you got to be willing to go all in for them. Stop playing small. Stop giving just enough. No plan Bs, because this is what you are supposed to be doing. And so now you got to figure out how to make it happen. If the pandemic taught you anything, it should have taught you that you cannot rely on your job, can't rely on the federal government. The only person that you can rely on is you. Nobody is coming to save you. The government is not coming to save you. Your job is not coming to save you. You have to save yourself. So stop being loyal to the people who are not loyal to you. Be loyal to you only. I am my first person. I can't even help my kids if I'm not helping myself first. I can't help my agents or the people who work for me or my staff if I can't help myself first. So that means I have to set myself, say, I got to go all in. Now, I wrote a book called 7 Online Revenue Streams to Fund Your $1 Million Dreams. It's on my website, ConstanceCarter.com. So if you got that 9 to 5 and you're still working that and you're not sure how to go all in, pick up my ebook. And I wrote that book out of the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, I think it was in March. I think I wrote that book maybe in April. And the reason why I wrote it is because there were so many people that were stuck holding the bag. Uh-oh, what am I going to do? The government only gave me a couple $100 stimulus. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Well, here's some things that you could start. Here are some ways that you could start. And it's $5. So go on my website, get my ebook, 7 Online Revenue Streams to Fund Your $1 Million Dreams. And I actually give you 8 because Ecclesiastes 12:2 says, it's basically, I'm paraphrasing it, but it says basically have 7 revenue streams, no 8, in case a disaster strikes the land. And guess what happened? A disaster has stricken the land. Ooh. So you got to have some alternatives. You got to have some other stuff coming in. I am so afraid. I am so afraid of having one revenue stream, because when I have one revenue stream, oh my God, that's when I file bankruptcy, having one revenue stream. So have more, have as many as you can. But here's the thing, get good at one thing and then start to have other things. But for that one thing, go all in for you. Invest in yourself. You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Stop investing in your job. Us employers, listen, employers, we like for you to invest in us because everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. And I get that. But there are other things that you could do to bring revenue. There are other things that you could do every day to bring revenue, not just that. And then you never know. You can kind of wean yourself to doing what it is that you really, really want to do. So as an employer, I love having employees. I don't get it twisted. But I always encourage them to do something else. Always saying, hey, get you a side hustle too. Because I want you to have everything that you need. I might not be able to pay you as much as you need or as much as you can make. But if you have something else going on and you're still loyal to me, I'm going to be loyal to you too. That's how I look at it. So I tell all of them, do more things, do more than this. Absolutely. And I encourage them to do that. But go all in on that one thing. That's for you. That's A. R, Don Diva, is you have to be willing to take a risk. Put that in the comments box. Put that in the chat box. R, risk. With no risk, somebody tell me, somebody put it in the chat box, no reward. Let me tell you one more time. If there is no risk, there is no reward. Okay. So whatever it is, you got to be willing to take a risk for it. I've sacrificed. I've lost thousands of dollars taking risks, you guys. I've lost thousands of dollars taking risks. I made millions of dollars taking risks. So my assets or what I gained far outweighed what I lost. So you have to look at it. Yeah, sometimes you're going to lose some money. Sometimes you're going to lose some things. You might lose some time, lost a lot of time, wasted a lot of time. But I wasn't afraid to go out there and take that risk. Imagine yourself sitting on the edge of a ledge and you're visioning yourself jumping off that ledge. And say you just released yourself. Instead of falling down, what if you got wings and you started flying? That's how you have to be willing to take your risk. That's how you have to be willing to go all in for your dreams. Just be willing to just put everything to the side and say, you know what, I'm going to do this anyway, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing, knowing that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not going to go broke doing it, but I am going to sacrifice some things. I'm going to take some calculated risks. I'm the type of person that will cross the freeway with a baby on my back, with roller skates on, if it meant what I was looking for was on the other side. If it meant my vision or my goal or that thing that I was supposed to be doing was on the other side, I will take that risk to get there because I know that this is what God wants me to do. And I know that this is the vision. And I know this is what where I'm supposed to be going. So it has to be that serious to you so that you can take a risk. It has to be that important to your life. You got to be willing to go all in. And if you can't breathe, you got to want it as badly, like Kevin, what's his name? Eric Thomas says, you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you're willing to take a risk for it, I'm telling you, God rewards risks. And S, so I gave you F for failure, E for embarrassment, A, you got to go all in, R, you got to be willing to take a risk, and S, you have to be willing to have some sleepless nights. And when I say that, you guys, I mean, that's another sacrifice. You know, most successful people, they are always thinking, I'm always thinking about the next move. What's my next move? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? Because we're always trying to, in our evolution of wanting to have the best, do the best, and serve our purpose in life, you're going to have those sleepless nights. When I was creating my business, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, I could remember it like it was yesterday. Year after I filed bankruptcy, the next year I opened up Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. Now we're the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California. But I remember having those sleepless nights, doing my foundational stuff, doing my research, putting my SOPs, my standard operating procedures together, getting all those things together before I opened up on day one, making sure everything was professional, getting my corporation together and my bank accounts and my credit, all of those things, those sleepless nights working on the business, so that the day that I opened, it was actually a legitimate business. And I have been working on it for months before I actually opened. And it was so funny because When I opened, I was a manager at another company. And I was a manager at another real estate firm. I was one of the top agents at this real estate firm. And so I decided to leave that. You know, God had told me a year before that I needed to go out and do my own thing. So I decided to leave that company. And we opened up. I was a manager of a small office. I think we had maybe 12 people that worked in that office. And they were all women, and they were all different nationalities: white, Black, Hispanic, Asian. And when I was going to go out on my own, I decided I'm gonna just go. It's just gonna be me and my assistant Glenda. It was just gonna be her and I, and we were just gonna start from scratch, and we was gonna hustle, and we was gonna do our thing. We was gonna grind. And one day we were looking for office space, and Glenda, there was an office that had like 5 offices, and Glenda told me, "Constance, you should get this office." And I was like, "For what? It's just me and you." And she said, "No, Constance, you need to think bigger. Everybody wants to come here with you." And I'm like, "Huh? They want to come with me? I ain't nobody. I'm not this other company who had 400 agents. Why do they want to come with me? I'm just Constance Carter." She said, "Trust me." So I went back to the agents. I had already told them that I was leaving. And I told them, I had already told the broker where I was at. I said, "Hey, send them over to the main office. Make sure you give them a nice office. They're coming over with you." And he said, "Okay, cool." And I talked to them, and all of them came except for one. So I think we opened up with 10 agents. We opened up our office with 10 agents. Multicultural, some of everybody. And it was funny because the firm that we had come from, we had one white lady. So we had a few black ladies, a few Hispanic, a couple of Asians, and one white woman. And this was a white firm that I had come from. And the one person that they tried to get back was who? Guess who? It's a white person. They didn't ask nobody else if they would come back, but they asked the one white person. They harassed her to come back. It's quite funny. But it was funny my point is, it was funny the things that they were telling her. Does Constance even have phones? Does Constance even have this or that? Now, Constance was the queen champion when Constance was making all this money for them. But when Constance became their competition, does Constance even have insurance? Well, what y'all don't know is I had sleepless nights. What y'all don't know is I had been hustling and building my foundation for months before I even opened up my business. So Constance had everything. Day one, July 1st, 2010, Constance had everything. So those sleepless nights that you have, use that to build your business, build your foundation. Okay? So make sure that once you go out and once you're ready to launch, you have things in place. But here's the thing that I want you to remember. Don't get stuck at start because you're waiting for perfection. I did not have perfection. In fact, I opened my office with hand-me-down furniture that I had got from an old mortgage company. It was nice to me. I had got these old voice over IP phones everything was secondhand. I don't think I bought anything. My copier, I came up. It wasn't perfect. Our chairs had rips in them, but we were open. And I wasn't embarrassed, but some of my agents I learned later were embarrassed that they had these ripped, but they loved working for me more than they were embarrassed. So don't wait for things to be perfect for you to go out there and do your damn thing. Perfection starts with you. A lot of times we say that we're planning, but we're really procrastinating because we're afraid to launch. How many of you have procrastinated, but you've masked it as planning? You said, "No, actually, I'm just planning," but you're actually procrastinating because you are afraid. You have fear that kept you from launching. I know I'm speaking to somebody, and I know I'm stepping on some toes. You masked your planning or your procrastination as planning because you are afraid to launch. Don't wait for perfection. Just do it. Do it afraid, do it scared, but just do it because it's yours for the taking. I want you to know that it is yours for the taking. So let's say that one more time. Let's put it in the chat box, you guys. F. What's F? I want you to put it in the chat box. Hey, Dual. F. Failure. F is failure. E, Put it in the chat box. Embarrassment. A, you got to be willing to go all in for your dreams. R, don't be afraid to take a risk. And S, you will have some sleepless nights on the way to success. You will fail. You will probably get embarrassed, but you got to go all in and be willing to take the risk and have some sleepless nights if you want that success. And I'm telling you, if you follow that blueprint, you will make it. Just don't let that fear hold you back. Remember, scared money don't make money. But you guys, it's not just about the money. It's not. It's about the legacy. It's about how many more people you can help because you have. When you're in a position where you don't have, when you're in lack, you're in a position where you need. But how many of us want to be in a position where we can give? That is a much better place to be. And so you're not coming to abundance to be greedy, to just keep it. Your abundance is to help you. Your abundance is to put your children on a better path. Your abundance is to build the community. Your abundance is to help everybody. It's a holistic experience. And that's what I want you all to understand. So don't let fears kick your ass, because scared money does not make money. So thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you guys for putting it in the chat box. I see you, Cherry Red. I see you, Amunet. Chris, I see you. Patricia, thank you. Joseph, Duel, thank you. For everybody who've been listening. And I just did a TikTok today about the 5 steps to manifesting success. And let me just go over that really quick. I just did a TikTok on it. So if you go to my page, I think it's on Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter is there. If you come follow me on my personal page, it's there as well. But there are 5 steps. So this goes along with your fears. There are 5 steps to manifesting anything that you want. And I've studied successful people. And all successful people do these 5 steps. All successful people do this. Number 1, you have to have a vision. You have to visualize, or you have to think it. The Bible says those that my people will perish because they don't have a vision. So do you have a vision for your life? Do you have a vision for your future? Do you have a vision for your kids? What kind of vision do you have? So I want you to close your eyes real quick for just 10 seconds. And I want you to visualize what 2021 looks like by December, what that looks like for you. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be in the same place? Are you going to start that business? Are you going to have a new house, new car? Are you going to be able to do something for your kids? I want you to think about what that looks like. December 31st, 2021. What does that look like for you? The second step in manifestation is you have to write it down. The Bible says, write down the vision and make it plain. So that thing that you visualize, now write it down. Third thing is you have to speak it. Speak your dreams and your goals every day. I'm not talking about speaking it to people, because remember, I said people can be dream killers and dream stealers. Don't tell people what you finna do. Don't tell them what you gonna do. Show them what you've already done. I'm saying speak it into the universe. Let it come from the belly to the throat to the atmosphere. Let it come to the air. And whatever thing that comes out of your mouth, so it shall be. Think about how powerful words are. Your words are the single most powerful force in the universe. Your words can be used to help, to heal, to harm, to humiliate, to humble. We have the words to make someone feel this tall or this small. And just imagine what your words can do. And what if you spoke life into your life, what that could do for your life. Imagine what the words can do. Remember Biggie? Biggie said, I'm ready to die. And what happened? Biggie died. Tupac talked about death all the time. And guess what happened? He died. Well, what if you start talking life over your life? What if you start speaking the things as though they already were? What would that do for your business? What would that do for your marriage? What would that do for your life? What would that do for your kids? The third step That was third. The fourth step is you have to work it, because faith without works is dead. So you could have a vision for it. You could write it down. You could speak it. But if you ain't work it, nothing's going to happen. Those are the vehicles that get you there, but you need that gas, that work that's actually going to get you to that destination. So think about it. Write it down. Speak it every single day into the universe. Work it. And the last step is you will receive it. There's a scripture that says, don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season, you will reap your harvest if you faint not. That's your manifestation. There's a reaping season and there's a sowing season. And so you have to sow in order for you to reap. So if you're not reaping, you know why you're not reaping? Because it's sowing season. There's two reasons why you're not reaping. Either because you're still sowing, or because you ain't do what you were supposed to be doing to reap. So there's a principle, and it's a biblical principle. It's a general principle. It's a universal principle. Reaping and sowing. So when you talk about your goals, think about them and visualize them in your mind. What does that look like for me? I absolutely can. Look, if you looked at me, I'm gonna be honest. If you looked at me, I'm like, I'm a little rough around the edges. Would you think that I owned a real estate company? Would you think that I'm an investor in cannabis? Spent over $700,000 in cannabis investments. Would you think that? Would you think that I have a building, that a co-working space? No, I'm just like you. I am just like you. So if I can do it because I've studied these principles and I've implemented them, you can do it too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm your sister. I am right there in the trenches with you. I just believed that I could, because when I was 7 years old, my auntie Rosemary Jenkins told me in Sunday school, she said, you are as equally, she said, God loves you. She said, you're equally as important as anybody because God loves you. That's what she said. She said, you are as equally important as anyone because God loves you all the same. You're no more important than anybody, but you're no less important than anybody. And that changed my life. And I looked up at her and I said, even the president of the United States? She said, even the president of the United States. And because my aunt told me that, because my aunt told me that I was equally as important as the president of the United States when I was 7 years old, I started believing at that point in my life that I deserved everything that this world has to offer. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I did not have the best education. I got a PhD, a public high school diploma. However, I believed that I could, so I did. All you have to do is believe that you can, and you will. Put certain steps in place. Yes, you will fail. You might be embarrassed, but you got to go all in and be willing to take the risks and have those sleepless nights. Make sure you have a vision for your life. Make sure you write it down. Mine are in my phone, and I take it everywhere I go. Make sure you speak of there are your affirmations. Make sure you work it and also receive it. So I hope I encourage somebody today, and I hope somebody's life has been touched by the words that have come out of my mouth, because they are very real and very sincere. This is what I live by. And I just want to be of help and assistance to you. So I will, if you want to get in contact with me, I do a Q&A every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern on the Fly Nubian Queen. I partner with Fly Nubian Queen and Dr. Boyce Watkins to bring you. Now, I charge for coaching. I charge $2,000 a month for coaching. You get 3 sessions with me for $2,000 a month. That's what I charge for my coaching sessions. But I have partnered with Dr. Boyce so that I can do a Q&A for the audience, for anybody who's watching. So you can ask me any questions every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And you could just pick my brain. And it's for you. And I think it's like $59 a month. And I think the first month is free. So $59 a month, compared to $2,000 that I charge for coaching. One of the things I wanted to tell you is I'm launching a business boot camp, and that'll be coming out at the end of February, or maybe in March. No, it's going to be coming out in March, right, Charles? A business boot camp. So I'm going to show you from going where, and this is actually putting these principles to work. going from inception to having a full-fledged business and getting the business done right and being able to get funding for that business. So within my businesses, I have credit, I have business credit, I have credit cards, lines of credit, I have SBA loan. I want to get you in position so that you can start taking advantage, because most people of color do not have any of this stuff in place. And that's why only 3% of Black people actually get funded for SBA loans. I'm a 3%er, but I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to show you how to holistically build your business. The other thing I want to tell you, I want to invite you to, is the Weekend of Wealth retreat that I'm going to be doing on June 18th to 21st. Super excited about that in Costa Rica. I got this dope ass mansion, and it's going to be for men and women. And it's just going to be a lot of healing taking place, a lot of transformation taking place, a lot of luxury taking place, and a lot of fun. We're going to get your mind right. We're going to get your spirit right. And we're going to get your finances right. And that's going to be June 18th through the 21st. I'll put some information in the comments later, because I hadn't rebuilt out the website, because we did them before. We had them in Napa. And with COVID and everything that hit, we had to postpone it. So I have to retweak some things on the website. But I will be putting that on the Weekend of Wealth. It's weekendtowealth.com, but disregard it because it's really old information. But it'll be June 18th to the 21st. So I want to make sure if you're interested in coming to Costa Rica, we will be doing, we'll make sure you don't have to send your COVID results a couple of days before you come, or bring them with you. And we're going to make sure that we have all the precautions there to ensure that everyone is safe. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. This was so great. I love you. And I appreciate you. My mama will not stop calling me, so I'm going to get off this broadcast so I can call my mama back. All right. Love you. Take care, and God bless. Peace out. Uh-oh.